welcome back from your break and ours. Very excited to be back and in it. So yeah, if you are just joining us, our group made their way into the crypts and hang on one second, apologies. Made their way into the crypts and were immediately thrown into a bit of a fight with two of Deodora's tribe's members, as well as several zombies that made their way out of several of the vaults. Throughout the battle, Deodora was able to absorb some of the shift-weave memory of the Melza, who seemed to have been the first of the group in here before that had been cut down. Slowly absorbing some of the memories of Shiftweave as that had happened. Silence falls on the chamber. Imagine somewhat uneasily with this group. And that is where we pick up.
I think it's quiet, safe for like just ragged breathing as the adrenaline starting to like fade away, and my thoughts become I stop compartmentalizing everything, but it's like a slowly, like as the adrenaline like starts to fade away, like slowly, like everything sort of like comes rushing forward, like pushing forward.
Yeah.
As I like look around the scene, I'm not saying anything, but it's just like, Jesus Christ, sorry. My dog just flipped out of his bed like a goddamn whale beaching itself. Of course, now he wants to leave the room. He's had all this time. Yeah, just
every time, Mots.
But yeah, I'm not saying anything, but just looking over the scene at my friends' bodies.
You can see several piles of ash from where I don't know if necessarily you were completely aware of the zombies that were in the room. I think you were, because they were mostly behind you for one. You probably heard noises, but I think you were so focused ahead. But you do see the piles of ash. You do see, again, the dried splatters of Indigo's blood from a day or two before. And Demelza lying similarly to how she was lying in the first memory that you saw, on ground on her stomach, hand partially outstretched, face to the side, against the stone, eyes glassy. Regier kind of thrown up into the corner, almost like a rag doll. Moonblades to the side.
I sink down to the ground, sort of between both of them. Like, I know they weren't that close, but also I think they're close. They're not that far away from each other.
No.
So sort of just sinking to the floor between them, and just sort of reach out on either side and just hold their hands.
And they're cold. You can tell necrosis set in a while ago. But they're here, but they're not. That aura of theirs is always present. It's just not. It's kind of like breathing in a stale room. It only goes so far.
I think it's like I trick myself for a moment into thinking there because I have so many memories of them, and then it's like that silence settles in and it's cold and dark in here.
For Demelza specifically, as she was always, minus when she was hunting, she was always the one that was the loudest in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Could always pick her out. Rogier always was more reserved.
Yes.
But
Rogier, they're that one friend who's just silently kind of observes, and then the second like something happens, they're the ones who like they've seen everything happen, and so they can like they tell you like they're quiet, but they can also tell you about themselves a little bit. About yourself.
I imagine that Rogier was probably the one that ended up getting you in trouble when you were little. If you ended up sneaking out, or
that stealth friend who like you think is the good one, but always gets you in you always end up with some shit. Yeah, that was Rogier for fucking sure.
But the three of them, Indigo, Demelza, Rogier, three musketeers always together. Always. From the time that they were little. But they always made sure that you felt welcomed. Never the, oh, this is Indigo's annoying sibling. No. Always watchful. There's a couple memories I think that come to mind of perhaps you getting bullied in the tribe, and a couple days later, Demelza and Rogier appearing at dinner looking very roughed up, but a couple other individuals filing in looking far worse for wear as they beat the shit out of your bullies. Mumbling underneath that they're the only ones allowed to pick on you.
Yeah, everyone always mentions the Three Musketeers, but they always forget there was actually a fourth one.
Yeah.
I'm still not saying anything, but I think I would like, I know that necrosis has set it in their body. These are probably pretty stiff, but
yeah,
just want to settle them in a way that's a little bit more peaceful.
Sure. Who do you move first, I would say?
I think I'll move Rogier first.
Okay.
And then Demelza. And I'll put them like next to each other.
Would you like some... I'm going to, like, most of this I think is like communicated in silence, of asking Theodora if she needs help with moving people and then helping her move them.
I think it's, I don't know if it's necessary for y'all to ask me that. It's more so like, if you were to just start helping, she wouldn't push you away or say no to you.
I think it's that moment of being like, this is clearly like a deeply personal thing, and it's at least for Rory's part, kind of an internal battle between, do I need to give her space because this is a really heavy thing, or should I try to be close to her because this is also a really heavy thing?
She would prefer closeness.
And ultimately, I think that's what he does.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say, I think there's part of her that like does want to deal with it on her own, but knows also that's not really the best way to go about it. When Rogier fell, did I get any remnants of their shift weave at all?
No.
No?
It seems like what had been... I'm going to say this. Why don't you roll a perception check?
Oh boy. Sparky, take the wheel.
Also, does Theodora mention that feeling?
The feeling of
trying to being able to like see the life of one person or whatever, but not being able to quite sense the other in the same way.
I don't think she mentions it, mostly because I think during the battle it wasn't something that it wasn't something that she intended to really happen when it initially started. At least it just sort of happened, and she doesn't necessarily 100% understand like how all of the shiftweave stuff works. It sort of just clung on to her and then got absorbed into the armor, basically. But now that she knows the armor, now that she like has experienced the armor doing that in real life, not sure if it's like to make it. She doesn't know how to like. It's like, hey, can you wake up? We need this stuff. So it's just like it's not something that she can really articulate or even mention because it's just new to her. But you do see her looking over Rogier, kind of like almost like trying to like almost like she's trying to like parse something out, put something together. You said perception check?
Mm-hmm. And you will have advantage on it too.
Yeah, I still had to use inspiration.
Yep.
So 22.
Okay. With a 22. Similar to how they both were in life, it seems like Rogier, as strong as he was, his soul, his shiftweave was muddled very quickly. It was done with precision to the point that when you ended up facing them both, Rogier's shiftweave and those memories had largely been, I would say, kind of disintegrated, eaten, that energy. Demelza, one to never go quietly, seemed to have been hanging on, either for Indigo's return or for someone else that shiftweave that memory. Her soul is not here, and it didn't pass on to the shiftweave, neither did Rogier's. You can sense that. The shiftweave is, minus what had been floating around their bodies, is absent in this room. Cut off. But she seemed to have ingrained and tried to ingrain as much important information into her shiftweave and hung on stubbornly until someone was able to come. She hung on until you were there. The memory that is Demelza. And while they can't use her body, they can't use her shiftweave anymore. What her soul and Rogier's soul have been parried off to, that you got a glimpse of as well. Important information you have not been able to get before. The question was always, where does a soul go when it's absorbed? You've come close to that before. But it was your friends that managed to save you and pull you back. Demelza didn't have that. And wherever she is being pulled apart bit by bit as memories are fading. Who she is. All of that lingering. But wanted to give whoever found her the best chance that they could. I would say with a perception check as well. It's likely that she knew that whoever was going to use her may also use memory against the tribe. All of the memories that you saw, all of the things had and were very carefully maneuvered to not show the location of the shiftweave. For she did not want this massacre to continue, especially with Indigo injured. Living, alive, but injured.
After we've moved them with Rory's help, I think again, will sink down to the floor near them and just sort of like, for like both Roger and Demel's just kind of like, you know when you like comforting a child and like stroking their hair, it's kind of like that with them. Just thank you for protecting him and them. I will make sure this doesn't happen again. And I want to take like, if there's like, I know Rogier has their like curved long swords. I want to take something from both of them if it's possible. If I can tell they're like not haven't been like tampered with.
Yeah.
Just to like bring it back when I do go meet with the tribe.
I will say for Demelza, you find, you can find the remaining shattered pieces of her glaive are around this room. But I think what stands out to you first, especially as you're moving, is you notice there's what appears to be a small kind of chain around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a thread woven chain with sunflowers interdispersed through. Specifically, there are 3. One golden, with like a small golden gem on it. Another indigo. And the last one, a solid midnight blue. She wasn't the best craftsman in the world, but you can tell that she forged this herself.
Yeah, I'll take that. And then whatever Rogier might have besides the swords.
In his pocket, you would notice that there's seems like it's almost a small clock, moon clock, that seems to notate not the time, but the moon cycle. It's probably at this point late afternoon, and it looks like tonight is so set to be a full moon. You can see it's notating the main moon of Ampistrano, as well as on the actual, not the clock face, but the lid that kind of rises up. You can see it notates the other 2, including the red dwarf, which all of them look like they are either near full or getting close to it, I would say. But the one that's going to be for sure full is the big moon. And that'll be tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tuck these items away and then wipe my face.
Theodora?
Yes?
Do you mind if I pick those up? Gesturing at the moon-shaped swords. I believe that if we find others from the shift weave, they may want these.
It was my intention to take them, so yes, go for it. They would want someone else to use them.
It is a very somber moment when Rory picks them up.
I think I watch, but it's like I'm having a hard time watching, you know? Like there's a finality to it that I know I have to accept, but don't want to.
There's probably even more to do in these catacombs, but based on what we've seen, it might be prudent to try to find Indigo.
Yes, we have to. If he's not safe, and the rest of the tribe isn't either if he was followed. Tiny'll knows where they are. I will reach out to him.
If that's true, then Tyneo might also be in danger. It is a difficult thing that I'm about to ask you, but we are going to have to move as quickly as possible so that we can save the people that we can save, I guess.
Yes. I will do what must be done, if that's what you're going to ask.
To be sure, I think enough have been asked of you today.
We're
Okay,
being targeted.
I
said my people are being targeted. Probably because of our connection to the events that happened originally and the shift wave. It's only part of... It's the other side of the veil. I agree, I was asked a lot today. But I have a feeling that more is going to be asked of me. I just hope I can... hang on.
That's what you have us for.
I think there's a moment, and like, I think Deodora, especially for Rory, is kind of easy to read in some ways. And like you see in her face a fear as she looks to the two of you and then looks down to her friends on the floor. And it's kind of similar to how Rory was about Astani. There is a temptation to bench them, I guess, for lack of a better term, so they don't get hurt too. I'll leave for as long as you want to be here.
Well, as ill-fitted to the moment as this humor might be, it's not like I have anywhere else to be. I literally cannot go beyond the veil. Haven't been able to for a couple of centuries now. So, if I'm going to stick around, I might as well be helpful.
Stani is slowly walking around as this was happening, and until Theodora looked at them, they have played the role of the person who's just respectful in the corner, this is not there. They have been that person when family members are watching as they cover their loved ones. The watchers working together, pulling them into the water and pushing them away into the veil. They feel more comfortable leaning down to the bodies and slowly humming as they're just helping them go to rest. They're whispering to them, but as if they were not in these bodies, they're just next to Asani in a way. Just, they might hold your visage, but they are not you. You deserve rest. You deserve a moment to float. And they're just giving that prayer off to each of them and laying down flowers and little beads that they've collected. And until Theodora looked at them, they finally have that moment of, like when the Spiritfarer or the I think of Asani as almost like a funeral director. Like, yep. You notice them and they're like, oh, I am part of this. They give a look back to Theodora, immediately of, do not shield me. Do not bench me. I am exactly where I want to be. And they will get up and collected from each of the visages of their friends and not the true spirits of their friends. They'll hold Theodora's hand together for as long as you keep remembering them, they are alive. And for as long as you have me, I will keep protecting that memory.
Thank you. I would like to leave this place now.
I'll only stay a bit longer to wish them off into their journey. But I want you to remember them as they were, and not of this falseness.
I will. I have a lot of memories of them.
Asani will just stick back and watch them go forward. And they'll just start drawing onto the ground and talking to the lady.
I use dancing lights and walk with Theodora on her way out.
Okay.
I think this is a moment where they pull the loved ones in and they watch as the families are in the banks of the temple district, just watching them go into the water towards the veil. Asani's very comfortable in this moment, and she kind of calls the waters forward, She takes a couple of bells out of her bandolier and she starts, in a way, it's not a prayer, but or forgiveness. Is just, even if this is, I think they would take a couple of beads from their pouch that have markings on them,
Mm-hmm.
and without knowing, like, if it's truly from fear, concern, or caution, because Rory did say we have to go. Finally wishing to the lady, please take them with you in your embrace. Let them rest. They will shake it into their hands, throw it onto the ground, and cast augury.
Okay. Can you remind me what augury does?
You receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a course of action that you plan to take. The DM chooses the omen from the omens table. There's weal, woe, weal, and woe. Indifference. It means like good, bad. And it's just, what's an omen? And the thought that they had was the actions to reach Tyneal, that go next, the tribe, the family, Indigo. And since Asani has never met them, they just have splashes of indigo, like the color, in their head.
Okay. To flavor this a bit more, can you go ahead and roll D100?
$39.
39. The water drips out, creating small ripples onto the stone floor, kind of further encircling. Dancing lights around the chamber, setting a very different ambiance than what this room was a few minutes ago. And as you focus in, offering up that prayer, that tether, a couple of things happen in the span of a few minutes. You feel the Lady of the Veil reaching, trying to do as you have so gently requested, which is to take them into her embrace. But it's strange. It's almost like her visage as it kind of appears momentarily. Hands reaching down to perhaps welcome them through. Reach down into nothing. Almost like a flower that's been ripped out at the root. And normally you get a sense of who these individuals were as these ripples occur across the water. But instead it's nothing but ice. A doubtful energy fills you as this is the first real kind of experience of seeing someone whose soul was taken, much like those gravestones outside that have the soul scorch marks of souls dragged elsewhere versus where they were supposed to go, were meant to go, were meant to be. The souls, you can tell, like rain, that smell that fills the air, you can tell the souls are still pushing forward wherever they are. but they're also dwindling like candles in a wind. For these are not only the representations of not just their souls, but the souls of countless others who have likely been taken. A flash of memory appears in your mind momentarily of your mentor, always a few steps ahead. Just the scent of rain filling the chamber. As your thoughts turn towards Tyneal and the tribe, from the visage of the lady herself, she seems to pull forward what looks to be a almost golden arrow interlocked with shiftweave strong. You can see on one of the feathers of the shiftweave portion of the arrow is bleeding slightly, but only a couple droplets, not profusely. Looks maybe almost like a paper cut. Strong. There is a sense of foreboding that settles in, though. For with this golden spirit arrow, as well as the shiftweave that's accompanying it, there is something else that appears behind it. You see 3 figures. One seemingly representing yourself, another a sunflower, and the final one looking very similar to Rory's automaton eye, further back. And in this moment, they are underneath a shroud of this blackened teal energy. That is almost draped over, almost like an elongated hand, over the 3 of you. As the lady kind of stares at you with a warning in her eyes, before she fades into the rain and mist in the chamber around you.
There's a moment where they're just breathing through, and there's tears coming down each sides of Osani's face. They just utter, let me not lose my dream, even though I scan the veil with eyes unseeing through their glaze of tears, and they just wipe away their tears. Let me not falter through the rungs of fortune perish. Praying pure air, let me not lose the vision, and they hit their chest. Powers that toss the worlds, I pray, hold me in guard. Don't let anguish tear my dreams away. And they close their eyes to the last bit of that moment of the holding, the ichor, the everything that's coming through. I am afraid, and yet I will still stand. And they will stand forward and take their beads from them and put them back into one of the little edges of their scarf that they've tied together, and hang it from them. Good news and bad news, that's how you work. All right. And then they just shake it off, say goodbye, and almost clear away their footprints, as if no other footprints should be in this chamber. Sure. Anymore, and walk out and leave. And as they come outside, you can see that they're just shaking off a full body like shiver to everyone else. How are you feeling, Theodora?
You ask that and you look at Deodora and they're just like, we were just in a dusty mausoleum, so like there's just trails, like clean trails through like the dust and the grime that it collected during the fight, because she's just been crying.
Oh.
She can't really answer.
They won't put their hand to the face, but they put it just near, as if you can feel the warmth from Asani. Oh, the rain eventually ends too, so. They'll ask for your hand and like we'll walk forward with you if you need it. If you need someone to just put the weight and hold you for a little bit as you walk.
Yeah, she'll take your hand.
For sure, you feel a little shaking from them.
Don't ask any questions about it, at least not at that moment. Maybe later. But I think there's a part inside me that kind of already knows why. Just because of like what you do, like what your job is, to ferry people over, and there's nothing to ferry right now. Or ever. But I don't say that. Not ready to acknowledge that just yet.
Rory quietly cast a protection from evil and good spell on Deodora.
Do you do it like stealthily or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I rolled a 21 on sleight of hand.
And where are you all heading?
We don't know where Indigo is. And I take a moment for this too. Oh wait. Well, that's the thing I can do now. Hold on.
Yep. Oh, voice. Voice mod. They're back, baby.
Nope, not yet anyway.
Aww. Damn.
Stay tuned for next session, but
Yeah.
being in, I would say maybe the best place to go would be to try to find Tyneal. But if I had to make a guess, if Indigo is in touch with Tyneal and is trying to reach him, it might put Tyneal in some danger. So I'm going to recommend that we head back to our current safe house and I think I might have a word with a certain bird.
You think that the communication devices we were given might be compromised, or?
I am not certain if they are. I hope they aren't. I'm not sure we would like to make any other unfortunate discoveries today, so that is currently a risk I'm unwilling to take.
Okay.
Okay. And you head back through the graveyard district as rain continues to fall. Not a very populated part of the city. You do see every now and then somebody maneuvering back to probably a home or elsewhere. And it's not long before you find yourselves at the Inn of Lilon. And as you walk through those doors, I think that's a good place for us to end for today. Great job, y'all. Really great job. Thank you all so much for joining us. We ended closer to time, which is great. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. Why don't we do a quick go around of who we are, where people can find and support the wonderful things that you do, and we'll start with Sin this time around.
Hi, I have been Sinziak, and we're dealing with some interesting feelings over here, but I've also been Rory, the he him smithing person, and eventually probably going to be blacksmith Blackstone. Good lord, the they he person. You can find me on Black Sky, Sinziak.blacksky.app, and you can also find me here on Twitch when I finally resume this whole streaming thing in the new space that I'm in by the same name.
Incredible. Thank you so much. We'll jump over to Maz.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Maz. Again, I'm just playing with Stani, both of us with she, they pronouns. You can find me tomorrow on Forgotten Adventures, playing Navara, my Oathbreaker Paladin, who is also a Hell Knight. And then, yeah, she made a deal with a devil. It's going great.
Yeah, it's totally
great.
fine.
It's totally good. Yeah, it's totally normal.
Sounds
not
hot.
Yeah.
It's a chain devil. Yeah. But other than Forgotten Adventures, you can find me everywhere at Mozzarella, or It's Mozzarella, with 2 L's. That way you can see what other games I'm on, or Starcrawl RPG. I usually stream on Thursdays, and now for the new year, I'm streaming during the weekdays. I am going to be finishing my dirt run. That is my goal for the next couple of days. I'm only in Act 2. That's possible, right?
Sure.
And yeah. Sure, I trust that.
Just grind for like 12 hours per stream and you'll be fine.
Well, I am off Monday to Wednesday, so that's probably going to be my plan.
Just grind.
Yeah, 12 hours. We can do this.
Yeah.
Don't move from this chair. And I have the ending episodes for 1,000-Year-Old Vampire and another solo TTRPG coming up for the new year on my YouTube. Yeah, so find me there.
Yay. And we'll jump over to Fair.
Hi, I'm Fair. I have been Deodora Shadesun, who is being bullied by the DM. So, if you want to protest this heavily, you can talk at Jordan at Blue Sky at D&G Jordan Lee. You can also follow me on socials at Fairbear, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, And here on Twitch, I do stream. I might stream tonight, but I'm also I'm gonna need to hit a hard nap after this session, so we'll see how I feel after that. But yeah.
Wonderful. And last but not least, hi everyone, I am your storyteller, D&D Dorn Lee. She, they pronouns. This is my channel, and I love running this game with my awesome friends. I will be back here on Monday, because we have a couple days of streaming before I'm going to take a break. So I'm excited and all those things. Yes, thank you, Lamia. Please consider, I do have a bunch of one-shots over on Start Playing, so if you would like to come and play, it'll be a fun time. But yeah, otherwise I'll be here. Special shout out again to our wonderful mod team as well for keeping us safe and helping behind the scenes to make sure that tech stuff was working. So very special thank you to them and to all of you for hanging out with us today. We're going to get out of here, y'all, but we'll catch you next Saturday to see what this group is going to get up to as they head towards Tyneal and who knows what else. But thank you all so much, and we will see you next time from Beyond the Veil. Bye, everybody.